Hey, what's up? It's Donna Rudowitz, and welcome to today's masterclass presentation. This presentation has been a long time in the works, so I am thrilled that I'm able to present it to you today. As you can see from the title of the slide, today we're going to be talking about the 5 steps to using your divorce as a catalyst for an amazing life. And it's really great to have you here. I know you've probably been on a lot of other webinars and masterclasses where there's a ton of preamble and there's stories and chit chat, but most people tell me, Donna, I just want to move forward. I'm excited to move forward and see what you have to say, and let's just jump right into the content. And that's exactly the way that I like to run my masterclasses. So if you don't mind, let's just jump right in and get to the good stuff because I've got some really fantastic content for you. You may be asking yourself, who is this masterclass for? This masterclass is for any woman who is midway through post-divorce. It's also for women who want to gain control back of their lives and one day want to be in a healthy, committed relationship with a great guy. Right now, maybe you've jumped back into the dating pool and feelings of lack and timidity have raised their ugly heads. Maybe you're just beginning to realize that your divorce is beginning to feel like an opportunity to look at your life and grow into your best self. And it's time to reevaluate your next steps. It's time to look at you, not as someone's ex-wife or wife or mother or employee or friend, but who you are and who you want to be. Or maybe you've begun your healing journey and pieces of your life and your heart have been knit back together in a new and vibrant pattern. And I'm not talking about a Frankenstein here, but rather a breathtaking mosaic. And your broken heart is renewed and you yearn for more in your life. You're ready to buckle down and figure out what that is. And dreams you've postponed, you now want to be realized. And yes, you've tried to forgive as best you can and you've begun your new life. And good days now outweigh the bad, and you've done some work to redefine yourself, but you want more. More knowledge of who you are deep in your soul, more confidence in dating, finding the right partner, right? Not just someone who you're going to date for a little while and then not date. More clarity on next steps and more support as you prepare to soar into your future. And in this masterclass, we're going to be talking about preparing to soar. It's a time to become who you want to be unapologetically and authentically. And the foundation and scaffolding of your new life is set and you're going to be ready to build the rest. And having dedicated support and one-to-one guidance feels just right for you. And in the next 45 minutes, here's what we're going to cover. 1, we're going to talk about how to turn your setback into a setup. We're going to go over how to gain more knowledge of who you are and what you want from life and love. And we're going to do that by looking at the universal laws of attraction and going deep within your soul for crystal clear guidance and answers. And we're going to talk about why when we honor and love ourselves first, others will organically love and honor us as well, thereby allowing us to create the deep, meaningful, and connected relationships that we so desire. And we get to build these relationships whenever we want, right? We're not at someone else's beck and call. We now begin to gain control back in our lives. We're also going to address the issue of what Zig Ziglar famously coined stinkin' thinkin'. And you know the kind of thinking that I'm talking about. It's the kind that you try so hard to keep out of your head, but that pesky little voice rears its ugly head every once in a while and hijacks your thoughts, which could lead you into anger, resentment, fear, envy, rage, jealousy, insecurity, feelings of unworthiness and guilt. Really just a whole bunch of yucky emotions that we want to stay clear of as much as possible. We're also going to be covering how to gain crystal clear clarity and focus, and I'll encourage you to begin to identify your priorities, shed the weight of the pain, and finally be free to attract exactly what it is you want. Because if you don't take the necessary steps to bring your vibrational level up, you're going to keep attracting the same things over and over again. The same things that you don't want in your work, in your life, and in your love life. And I'm going to show you how to feel hopeful, light, and excited on the inside as well as the outside. This is one of my favorite quotes that I feel is so appropriate to women who've been through divorce or are going through a divorce, because it's divorce language that only we can understand. And the quote is this: "Sometimes you have to be knocked down lower than you've ever been to stand taller than you ever were." And here is my promise to you. On this masterclass, I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy on how to use your divorce as a catalyst for an amazing life today, and how to attract the people, places, and things that you want in your life while remaining authentic and unapologetically you. Now, I know that may seem a little out of reach for you right now, but I've got clients doing it right now at this moment, and I'm going to show you the exact process that they're using to make that happen. Before we go any further, let's just address some house rules. The first one is there are no drive-through breakthroughs. So as much as I wish I could give you the magic wand to remove your pain and give you everything it is that you so desire, I don't have the ability to do that. You have to show up, you have to do the work, and you have to be willing to invest the time, energy, and effort to see the results. There are no do nothing, get results. I would love to sit on the bed and do a little yoga pose and hope and wish that my room would be clean, right? But I know I need to get up off the bed and actually do something in order to make my room clean, as is the same thing in our house of life. You know, if you sit around and you're doing nothing, you're not going to get the results you want. And there's no fake intent. You can't just say you want to do something but don't have the commitment behind it. If you're not willing to commit from a level that's within, that's deep within, and really, really set a conscious intention, then I can't help you. Your success or lack thereof is up to you. Before we get into the good stuff, let me just check with you for a second, because I want to see where you're at. Does this sound like you? Do you sometimes experience a roller coaster set of emotion and sometimes wonder why you're still experiencing these? Do you notice all the couples and married people and secretly wish that you had love too? Do you also secretly wonder why this happened to you? Why does the other woman, or why does she get to have an amazing husband in life, right? And this is a woman on the street that you're noticing. Why does she get to have an amazing husband in life? And why, after doing everything right in your marriage and in your life, and you ask yourself, why? Why me? Do you feel like this whole dating thing is a huge mess? Do you feel out of place and uncomfortable? When you were in your 20s, the bar scene, school, or work is where we typically met people. But now a lot of it's online, and really, seriously, what's up with this Tinder thing? What's up with the Tinder swipe thing, or the Plenty of Fish and Match.com, where all the guys really seem to be jerks? I wish I could use another word, but that's the truth. And thinking that's where all the guys are, and wondering, oh my gosh, like, is this what I'm in for? Is this what I'm going to have to do? Well, let's just say that your hopes are underwhelming at the least. Do you also feel that time may not be on your side? Let's be real. You're not 80 yet. You're still young. You have plenty of life to live, but you're not in your 20s. And finding the guys your age are really, when you're online, they're looking at women half your age, and the guys that are into you are probably 20, 30 years older than you. So there's like this middle place where looking for people your age could be quite frustrating. And the sense of chaos has got you thinking about time and envisioning yourself being 80 and alone, and it's something you don't want to be. You don't want to be 80 and alone sitting in your home all by yourself. Do you secretly feel that all the good ones are gone and that there's not one that's left for you? Do you feel like all the pieces of your heart have been knit back together and your broken heart has been somewhat renewed, but you yearn for more in your life? And are you ready to buckle down and you're ready to figure out what it is once and for all? You're ready to stop, thinking about it, or what I call getting ready to get ready. You're ready to stop talking about it and actually take some action to change your life. And are you looking for more confidence in dating, more clarity in next steps, more support as you soar into your new future? And lastly, do you feel that if you don't do something right now, that you risk living life just surviving versus life thriving? If any of those things sound like you, then I have really good news. None of those things are the real problems. They're just the symptoms. What's the real problem? The real problem is you haven't made what I call the shifts. And we're going to talk about those in just a second. For right now, know this. Once you make them, all of the years of frustration that you've gone through will finally pay off, because your life will be working for you instead of against you. The overwhelm, the unknowing, and the cloud will evaporate. You're going to gain complete control over where your life is going because you are the captain of your ship. And you're going to use your divorce as a spiritual process, as a journey towards wholeness, as a catalyst for living your best life now. And you're going to be able to see things differently in ways that you never thought possible. You're going to be able to observe, to question, to transform. You get to have an amazing, authentic, and fulfilling life, lacking nothing. The emotional weight that you've been carrying around will be released, and you're finally going to begin to feel like you again. You're going to have an absolute knowing, not a guess, not a wondering, but an absolute knowing that you already have all of the tools and resources that you need to live the life you dream of. You're going to be able to turn walls into doors. As we know, life isn't always easy. That's for sure. And one thing that's guaranteed in life is that we're going to come across obstacles. On a normal day, you can handle it. But if your stress level is high and your resilience level is low, you may not be able to handle things to the best of your ability. But once you've made the shift, you can remain confident that you can handle anything. You can handle anything and any time that comes your way. You're going to be able to turn those walls into doors. You're also going to be able to attract the right people at the right time in your life. And when you're ready, finding that right guy and keeping that right guy, if that's something that you're interested in doing. Before we go any further, let me take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about myself, because you may be wondering, who is this Donna girl anyway? My name is Donna Rudowitz, and I'm a psychotherapist and expert relationship coach. I've got a master's degree in social work, and I also hold certification as a certified New York State business advisor. I hold over 20 years of experience in the business and clinical field, and my specialty is working with women affected by divorce, release the pain of the past, identify the things that are keeping them stuck, show them how to fix those things, and then also show them how to fall in love with themselves again first, and then how to attract the love of their life. And I developed the Divorcing Gracefully program as a result of my own divorce. And it really is my life's work to eradicate and help women eradicate and transcend the pain from divorce. My own divorce was one that was so difficult, and it was when I went through it, I said to myself, I really have to help other women who are going through this so they don't make the same mistakes that I did, and also show them how they don't have to have their divorce define them, that it doesn't need to be that way, that your divorce doesn't have to define you, that can actually be used as a catalyst. And I also wanted to make sure that divorce wasn't something that went through the family lineage, right? That I could assist and help you manage family matters so that your children still have a fighting chance at a perfectly healthy marriage blueprint, and they could go on to live wonderful lives. So if you think you can't find love again, and you think it's crazy and you think it's so hard, I'm here to tell you, you certainly can find love again. I know one thing, and that's God is no respecter of persons. And if I could do it, so could you. And I went from a divorce of being devastated, making a really good living, to making not so much in a really good living at the time, and going through a horrible divorce, having 2 young girls. And I was able to fast forward 10 years from now, transformed my career. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I travel. I love my life. I have a wonderful family with 2 beautiful girls who have been raised healthy. They have wonderful mindsets and views towards life. I have a wonderful husband who loves me dearly. I also have a dog and a cat, a dog named Casey and my cat named Augie. And our family isn't perfect. I don't think that there is a family that is perfect, but we certainly love each other. And I am here to instill hope that you could literally have whatever it is that you so desire. And don't let anybody take your dream away from you. So let me take a second and tell you how I discovered the 5 shifts. I've been doing this for a really long time, and I've got tons of clients, and I've got a lot of colleagues in this space. They also have clients, and so on. And so over time, I started to realize that there was a huge difference where some of the people seemed to jump right in and really scale their lives, drop the struggle, feel happy again, find their partner, get married, and really define what relationship structure was right for them. And then there were some people who just continued to struggle. And so I started looking into what those top achievers were doing. What were they doing differently? And over time, I gradually realized that there were 5 things that those top achievers were doing that everyone else wasn't. So I started incorporating those shifts into my own life, and my life immediately took a turn. I couldn't wait to wake up and jump out of bed each day. My career soared, and I married the love of my life. So I started sharing this with my clients, with my friends, really anybody who would listen to me. And then my clients started seeing amazing results. So the bottom line is this. There are 5 key shifts that you must make in order to use your divorce as a catalyst to your amazing life. And I'm going to walk you through all 5 of them in this masterclass. And the great news is, once you learn it, you could repeat it. Rinse, wash, repeat. So the first shift is acceptance. In my experience, one of the biggest struggles I've seen time and time again is our own internal battle with reality. We want so badly for our reality to be one way, and we try everything to get it to work, but it's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. It just doesn't fit. And the more we try to make it fit, the more we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. On the other hand, the moment you allow yourself to truly look at where you are today with no judgment and no blame, just pure awareness and acceptance, this is where the gridlock starts dissolving and you can move forward. It's the essential ingredient that enables you to close the loop within your healing process, because you can't accept a situation until you're ready to look fearlessly at the facts of your circumstances. And you can't heal what you can't see, and you can't heal what you can't feel. The concept of acceptance is really at the heart of your healing and recovery. Do you remember at the beginning of the masterclass I mentioned the roller coaster set of emotions? This is where you can finally be rid of the inconsistency of your emotions and put a plan into place that will keep you emotionally regulated, a plan that's going to yield you great results. And Maya Angelou once said, "Do the best you can until you know better. When you know better, do better." The second shift is what I call save the drama for your mama shift. It's perhaps your greatest secret weapon of all. Why? Even though you may not consider yourself to be engaging in drama, if you're stuck somewhere in your life, then there's likely some level of drama playing out in your story. And in divorce, it's not uncommon for women to experience trauma. I often say it's not PTSD as in post-traumatic stress disorder, it's PTDD as in post-traumatic divorce disorder. A traumatic experience can have you overreact, underreact, go into fight or flight or freeze at any time. Seriously, anything can trigger you. And things to the lay person seemingly are insignificant. And that's why so many women think they're through with their internal work, and then something will come up and all of a sudden they're right back where they started from. Our internal struggles are like onions. They come in layers. And when we can learn to appreciate them instead of fearing them, we can begin to drop the drama of our story. Why is this so important? First, the drama of your story blinds you from seeing the facts clearly. Don't want to be the one to tell you this, but you may have heard this before, but it really does take two to tango. So there are two people in a relationship and you may not really be seeing what was your part in the marriage. What did you do really well? Looking back over the years you were married, where do you see that maybe you could have done things differently? What's your responsibility in where you are in the divorce? Also, what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a masterpiece. When we stop the loop, we're able to evolve into a whole new being. And when you see things differently, you realize that your setback is really your set up. It's also knowing that there is no accidents. In this world, there are no accidents. There are no coincidences. We're all souls gathered here on our journey. And within each one of us, we have our own special calling and our own special purpose. Drama keeps you bound to the problem. It doesn't give you any room to step into who you are and step into your calling and purpose, because the only thing you're thinking about is the problem. Keeping in the flow releases your soul to live out to its full potential. Here's a truth, whether you may know this or not, and that is we're constantly evolving, whether we're aware of it or not, that your life was divinely designed so you get exactly what you need to support your own unique evolutionary process. And until you understand that everything in this universe is exactly the way it should be, perfect without flaws, never late and never early, you're going to spend the rest of your life wishing that people, places, and things were different. You'll get stuck in your own internal struggle and miss the gifts of the day, the present, the moments that you never get back. This third shift is surrendering as a strength, quite a mighty powerhouse. It's the understanding that surrender is strength and not a weakness. When you begin to align your behavior with your intentions, you begin to feel more loving. You begin to feel more compassionate. You surrender to your emotions versus having them control you. And when you're surrendering, you're actually moving in the flow. And now you can actually begin to see life as it could be, not as it was, or at the place you're in at this current moment. When you stop resisting and surrender to your situation, exactly how it is right now in this moment, things begin to change in your favor. I'm not saying that you have to like it or agree with it. I'm not asking you to throw in the towel. I'm asking you to move into the flow. When you stop the internal battle with yourself and move into the flow, life seems to flourish all of a sudden. So I guess the question would be, how do you move from fear to flow? And there's 6 key points that I'm going to share with you now. Okay, so let's talk about the resistance. We resist out of the fear that if we let go, we're going to be faced with issues and circumstances that we can't handle. And our resistance is our natural protective mechanism. We live in the illusion that this so-called shield, this invisible shield, is somehow going to protect us from feeling the guilt, feeling the loss, feeling the distress, and the anguish of our current situation. So in essence, if we could avoid the feelings and we could avoid what really happened, then we could go on in life. But actually, that's the opposite of what really happens. We need to move into things head first. So when we release and when we let go, we can now see the truth and we could see what's not true and what's possible for our lives. And when you surrender, you let go of pictures of how life should be and move and allowing life to happen exactly as it's happening in this moment. When you surrender, you let go of all judgments, the belief that you are right and the belief that you know what he's going to say. So you're no longer focused so much on what other people are doing or saying or how things should be. What you're doing is you're allowing yourself to be living in the moment, living to what your reality is. So you are no longer fighting reality. You are actually using reality as your catalyst because there's no longer the fight. You are dropping the story, you're dropping the drama, and you're beginning to build strength. The 4th shift is about believing in and tapping into the power of something that is greater than you and I. And this is where you don't need eyes to see. Now, I say God, you may say universe, source, higher power. It's really not important what we call it. But what is really important is how you align yourself with your higher power and how you can tap into its resources and begin allowing life to flow right through you in ways you've never imagined possible. You know, quite honestly, going through a divorce myself and working with so many women who have been through a divorce, I find it very difficult when there's no source for us to tap into, when there's that belief isn't there. It's difficult because we can't possibly carry all of the struggle and all of the strain of what we're going through. It's just too heavy and the grief is too sad. And this is what happens when you see people who were divorced 20, 25, 30 years ago, where you see them and you're talking to them and you're saying, wow, I'm so sorry that you've been through this. And you ask them, well, you know, how long ago were you divorced? And they say 25 years ago. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, like I feel like from what you were saying, it sounds like you were just divorced yesterday, because they're holding on. And it's such an amazing experience when you let go of who you think you're supposed to be and fully embrace exactly who you are. At any moment, our divine connection reminds us that we have a choice. We have a choice to look at our struggles and desires as stumbling blocks or stepping stones. We also have the choice to look at ourselves and see love or see lack. When you're fully connected to source, to God, to whatever your word is for it, you actually compete with no one. You know that you're enough. You're a fighter, and you look at everything you've overcome and you don't give up, and you live life wholeheartedly. Don't allow your divorce to use you. Instead, use your divorce as a catalyst to creating your amazing life. You are connected to a divine source. And this is the piece that there's a knowing that there's no lack, there's no worry, there's no doubt. You're never alone and you never have to feel. And time is on your side. You're worthy now. Not if, not when, but now. You are worthy of love now. You are worthy of belonging now. You are worthy of living an amazing life right now, just as you are. You don't have to do well, let me do this first and then, or I need to do this first and then, or I need to fix this, I need to go and maybe get some Botox before I begin dating. That is not true. You are perfect just as you are right now. And when you're connected, you are never without water. You know that no matter how hard life is throwing stones at you, that you could still get up, that you could still handle it, because it's not in your power, it's in His power. And you could stand tall in a storm, because just like a tree, the leaves may sway, leaves may fall, but the roots stand deep. And when you're confident in yourself and you love yourself and you know where you're going and you have a plan, those roots stand deep. It doesn't matter what's happening on top, it matters what's happening underneath, and that's you. You are as strong as a tree, and you are fully equipped to achieve anything it is that you so desire. You just need the right tools to show you how. Your job in divine guidance isn't to figure it all out and have the perfect plan, because between me and you, there is no perfect plan. Even the perfect plan is perfectly imperfect. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Your job is to uncover and live your truth unapologetically, to live happy unapologetically, to live in beautiful, feeling happy, feeling peaceful. He doesn't want to see you miserable. Life was not meant to be miserable. Life wasn't meant to be living just getting by. You were born because you have a distinct purpose for being born. This is an inside job. Karmic relationships are here for us to learn, to grow, and to evolve into the highest manifestation of ourselves. You could have been totally screwed again, but nothing is accidental. So there is an exact reason why you and your husband were married. Whether that be, children came through that marriage, or you learned something through that marriage, but there was a reason why you and your husband or ex-husband decided to get married, and it's a karmic relationship. Just as karma, and this is where a lot of people will say, Donna, well, where's the justice that he totally screwed me, he totally, he's with another woman, or whatever the issue may be. And yes, it's hurtful, and yes, we need to work through the grief, but knowing that karma is a bitch, and what goes around and comes around. And that's why I do the work I do, is because I don't want you to be tainted by that negative toxicity energy. You need to get rid of that energy. You need to release that energy as soon as you possibly can, because the only thing that it's going to do is keep you stuck. So let's look at how we created life the old way. So first, there was the battlefield of our minds, right? We got stuck in bitterness, in anger, in fear, in envy, in resentment, and sorrow. And then we start thinking and thinking and thinking, and the battlefield of the mind and the heart now come into play, because now it's not only happening in our heart and our mind, but now our heart is just broken into a million pieces, which throws us into emotional turmoil and drama, and feeling uncomfortable at family events, and who's getting the friends, and what I used to do one day, now I can't do this day, and now I used to take the kids to practice, and now I'm only taking them on these days. I used to have the kids every day, now I have them 2 days a week or 3 days, or they're with him a few days. Now I have where he's picking up the kids with his girlfriend in the car, or whatever the situation may be, but it's throwing you in emotional turmoil and drama. And so now you go from the battlefield of the mind to the battlefield of the mind and the heart. And then now you go into the battlefield of the mind, the heart, and the soul. And the tears come, and you're feeling stuck, and complicated grief and fear comes through. Now this is life, this is creating the old way. This is where you'd go to family and friends and asking them for support. And while everyone is meaning to do well by you, maybe someone says, well, just get over it, or they don't understand, and it just makes things worse. So really, does this make sense? Trying to handle things on our own and trying to figure it out? Because here's what we get more of. We get more fighting and pain. We get fear. We get more fighting and pain. We get staying stuck. We get more fighting and pain, and so on. Here's the new way that we can handle things. The new way is focusing on our own happiness at the core of who we are, at the core of our being, of our mind, of our heart, of our soul, that we are unapologetically, that we are walking in divine guidance, that we are walking in with our heart just open and full, and we are living wholeheartedly, and that we accept what had happened. Now, when I say accept, I don't mean that you agree. I'm not saying that anything was right, but you're no longer allowing it to have power over you, that you're surrendering to it, which then in turn is giving you strength, and which then in turn is giving you happiness, which then in turn affects everybody around you, as well as who and what you're attracting in your life. Here's a testimonial from someone I've been working with for a while, and I wanted to share it with you because I know you may be thinking, is this possibly for me? Can I truly be happy again? And here's what she wrote. Donna, it's been hard to find the right words to convey to you what you've done for me. The Divorcing Gracefully program changed mine and my girls' lives forever. I walk around in a cloud of happiness, hope, and strength, and you were put on this earth to change lives. I love you dearly with all my heart and soul. Thank you. Now, this was a client who came to me in an absolute turmoil, chaotic piece of where she was. She just needed help in redefining her and where she was going and what she deserves. And I have to tell you that when I work with people, they become my family. And that's the reason why she says, that when she says I love you dearly, it's because we love each other dearly, in the sense that she is forever a part of my family, and that everything that I do and everything that she's done for herself has not only helped her, but now it's unlocked the freedom for her children and her children's children and her children's children, and there's nothing more powerful than that. So even if you think you've tried everything, and even if you think, I don't know if this is going to work for me, I don't know about this, or I don't know what I could do, know that these 5 shifts work, and that if you put into play what we're speaking about today, you are going to see results. So let's talk about what the 5 shifts have done for me personally. As I told you, I went through a horrible divorce myself, and the 5 shifts have helped me go from brokenhearted to whole. It completely changed the way that I lived my life, and it opened me up to an entirely new way to view the world, and has ultimately led me to my life path, the work that I do, and the love of my life. So let's do a quick recap of what we spoke about so far. First, we spoke about acceptance and surrendering and divine guidance as your secret weapons, and that when we fully own our story, we can live wholeheartedly and authentically, and how you can literally have anything it is you want in life. The tools are there. You have to just decide when it's time for you, and when enough is enough and you just decide now's the time. I have a question for you. Which wolf do you feed? And let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a grandfather who told his grandson, there are 2 wolves inside of me. One wolf is good and altruistic, generous and kind, and the other wolf is mean and greedy, violent and angry. The 2 wolves are in a constant fight within me. And the grandson, with wide eyes, says, "But which one will win, Grandpa?" And the grandfather says, "The one that which I feed." So take a moment now as I say that story to reflect. Which wolf are you feeding? Are you feeding the good, altruistic, generous, and kind wolf? Or are you feeding the mean, greedy, violent, and angry wolf? Take a moment now to reflect on that. The 5th and final shift is investing in a mentor. I've personally, me, myself, and I personally have invested thousands of dollars in mentoring. And every time I had a big decision or something I needed help with, when I hired a mentor, it was a positive shift in my life. And successful people know and understand that hiring a mentor is what's going to take them across the lake to the other side. They know they can't do it alone, or they know that they maybe can get to the other side eventually, but it's going to take them a lot longer and it's going to cost a lot more. And they want the shortest and fastest route that's going to yield them the best results, and then that's the road that they're going to take. If there's any piece of wisdom that you could take from today's masterclass, is don't go it alone. Do whatever it takes to find the right mentor and invest in yourself, because it really is the difference between a mediocre life and an amazing life. Most of you who are on this masterclass, I'm sure, are very intelligent, professional, and successful women. And you probably could keep going exactly the way you're going and live a so-so or okay life, right? I mean, you could have good times and you could have bad times. But my question to you is, why? Why not live a life full out? Right? Everyone should have a mentor and coach, because again, mentoring brings two things. It brings new ideas and accountability. I'm sure right now, as we speak, there are new ideas in your head that would not have been there if you didn't take time for this master class. And it's just a short period of time, somewhere around 45 minutes that it took for this class. But if you were taking notes or you were listening to what I was saying, when you go back to them, you're going to have different thoughts and a different perspective just in the short period of time. So here's how it works. In order for all of the shifts to come together, number one is mindset. Having a mindset is critical. A positive mindset is critical to your success. Actions. If you there's a story that I say, you could sit on your rocking chair all day long and you're not going anywhere. And if you want results, you need to not be, you could sit there all day long and be busy and productive, but you're never leaving the porch. So it's just being careful between busyness and productiveness and actually having results. So you need to have actions that go along with it. And with mentoring, we work on the mindset, we work on the actions, and then we also work on outcomes. We want to make sure that what you're doing is going to produce the results. And if you don't change the way you think, you're not going to change the outcomes you have. It's like the definition of insanity. If we keep doing the same things over and over and over again, we're not going to get any different results. We're going to get the same results over and over and over again. And when you don't have the right tools, you risk never getting what it is you want. So women in my Divorcing Gracefully program, in my mentoring program, women who divorce gracefully invest in themselves. They take their life by the horns. They use their divorce as a catalyst for an amazing life. And they invest in mentoring because they know it's what they need to take their lives to the next level. So when someone invests in a mentor, and as I said, if you could take one thing away from today's program or today's masterclass, is investing in working with someone, is you see a night and day difference. So let's wrap up. I know I want to be respectful for your time, and I want to be sure that we get all of the information that I promised you today. So let's just recap of what I promised you. I promised you I show you how to heal your wounds through the 5 shifts and give you the inspiration that you need so you can finally put the past behind you and open yourself up to a new and bright tomorrow. And even if that seemed impossible to you, I showed you that you could actually use your divorce as a catalyst instead of having it control you, and use it as the catalyst for living your best life today. And I also showed you that no matter where you are in your life, that no matter what you have or what you don't have, is that you could literally attract anything it is that you want. There is nothing that is outside of what you are able to attract. if you have an idea, or if you have a feeling, or if you have an idea of where you would like your life to go, that vision has been given to you as a gift. And that vision would never be given to you if you weren't able to carry it out. You may not have the tools that you need in order to build it just yet, but that's irrelevant, because that's the reason why you connect with people and you connect with other things, is because you will be given the tools. So don't look short-sightedly. Know that you could have whatever it is you want. I also promised you that you'd be able to feel hope again, and that you'd be able to find love whenever you want, and it's not too late, and in fact, you've really just begun. And how to get rid of the toxic thinking that keeps you stuck, how to eliminate the overwhelm and manage that little voice in your head that sometimes hijacks your brain. So here's what you need to win. Let's recap the 5 shifts. First shift, acceptance. Second shift is surrender. Third shift is divine guidance. Fourth shift is forgiveness. And the 5th shift is investing in a mentor. These are the things that you need to win at life. These are the things that other divorced women or other women who are going through divorce who don't do this risk staying stuck. These are for the women, these are the things for you, for the women who are ready to do things differently, who are ready to take their life and say, no more, I am ready, I want an amazing life. And now you have a choice. Happiness is a choice. So here's how I could help. My team and I have set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak with you personally how you can apply these ideas to your life starting today. And whatever your biggest challenges are, when I tell you we've seen it and we know how to overcome it, it is the God's honest truth. And the other point to make here is that you can either take the information that I've given you and forget all about it and just put it away and just use the information from today's class and apply that, which is wonderful. And you could keep struggling with the roller coaster set of emotions, and you could keep looking at other couples, envying them and wishing you could have what they had. And you could let the next maybe 10 years pass and still be in the exact same place you are today. Or you could choose if you want to start living the life you know you deserve. If you're finally ready to begin getting rid of all of the toxic emotions and behaviors that keep repeating over and over and over in your life again, and finally be light and be free and be filled with immense joy and lightness and peace of life. And if that's what you really want, then I would say book a call with me and my team. Here's how I can help. On this breakthrough call and on this session, we're going to work with you and craft a step-by-step game plan to help you take you from brokenhearted to whole. And it's a time where it is dedicated. I'll say get a pen, get a paper. We're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to walk together. We're going to be getting together for about 45 minutes and we're going to work with you one-to-one, step-by-step to create and craft this plan. And it doesn't matter if you've tried everything before and nothing's worked, and the cost is absolutely free. When you come to this call, we're going to get you crystal clear on 3 main things. What's not working right now, what it is you really want, and the strategic game plan on how to get you there. So who is this call for? This is for women who are ready. They are ready to move onward and upward. This is for women who are ready to hold themselves accountable to the highest standards of integrity. And they must be willing to do the work. And if that's you, book a session now. And here's how you book a session. You could go right to www.donnarudowitz.com/apply. Once again, it's www.donnarudowitz.com/apply. And I'm so looking forward to connecting with you. I hope you had an amazing time on this masterclass, and I wish you nothing but an amazing, love-filled, and exciting and wonderful life. Talk to you soon. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.